Just a heads up, Fluffbutts, this video contains strong language. That isn't new for my channel or anything, but goddamn I get so pissed and angry in this video. Watch out! It's me, FaolanCortez, and welcome back to another top 10 list. For some reason, you guys liked the first one that I did concerning the best episodes of My Little Pony. Heyo, I guess I must make another one. And here it is, brand new design, new colors, and a new type of list. Ta-da! And behind these numbered pieces of paper, we are going to be revealing the worst rated episodes of My Little Pony. This is not going to be pretty. This is going to be one big fiery session. And obviously, Fluffbutts, we are going to be going by IMDb's official ratings and not my own. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into the bloodbath. Let's go! Okay, so we turn to the 10th worst rated episode of My Little Pony with the Broken Hearts, and it is Spike at Your Service. Oh no, I remember this episode so well, and despite it being from one of my previously most loved writers, Meriwether Williams, her script in this episode is not really that good. It's probably her worst one, I'll have to say. Spike at Your Service was a big mess. All this episode does right is show how loyal Spike can be, since that is one main characteristic of his, but it's displayed in a trashy perspective. The way the story tries to explain Spike's out of the blue dragon code didn't at all convince me it was something noteworthy. I say that because never once was it established in a previous episode or even season. Spike's reduced to being a submissive wimp who will do anything to please his master, and my god, it was so annoying to see the lack of respect he possesses. Not even his shining moment at the end with the giant timberwolf kept me gripped. It's so cliched to try and convince a story is entertaining by shoving it in a big flashy explosive event near the end. And to think all of the episode's troubles could have been avoided if Twilight didn't dismiss Spike so recklessly. Spike at Your Service is a pile of shit. Now we come to the 9th rated episode of the worst, and here it is. It is Father Knows Beast. Oh, no. I don't want to hear that title anymore, cause flippin' hell, this episode just annoyed me the moment it was aired in the 8th season. This episode was a disaster. Honestly, Father Knows Beast could have worked perfectly if the imposter actually was Spike's father and not a sludgy asshole. This is another story that abuses Spike's character, this time turning him into a selfish git who will throw everything away for a person he met and knew for only one afternoon. What flawed storytelling this episode has to have the guts to force in a fake flashback to cock tease and tickle the balls of the fans who have been watching since season 1. The song alone that Sludge sings was so headache-inducing.
Sure, this place is grandiose, but to a dragon it's just gross. Time we make the lot all disappear.
I cringed harder watching Father Knows Beast than the talent show in The Showstoppers, which is actually a great episode. Don't you dare at me. Smolder saved this episode somewhat, but it was not enough to prove how bland and uninspiring the writing is. I feel offended that Josh Harbour wrote this travesty, the same person who wrote the grand finale, The Last Problem. Father Knows Beast is the straight up definition of banality. But now we're coming to the 8th rated one, and number 8 in the best list was quite a surprise. So will number 8 surprise me again? Let's see, and it is The Mysterious Ne'er-do-well. Whoa, like, really? People hate this episode? I never once disliked it. I thought it was actually kind of good. I know this is a Meriwether Williams script again, like her first one, but this one was actually pretty fulfilling for her first script. This episode does not deserve the hate, I think. Despite being written by Meriwether Williams, I never once thought The Mysterious Ne'er-Do-Well was a bad episode. Sure, there's the argument to be made that the main six trolling Rainbow Dash was harsh and inconsiderate, which I'll admit is a bit out of character for them to suddenly do. But given how much Rainbow's disposition throughout season 1 and 2 showed her as an irritating brat, I couldn't have cared less. The lesson is actually realistic about maintaining your ego because you're not the only one with a shining reputation in the world. Someone can easily swoop in and take it as their own, and I love how that is represented in this episode.
Ponyville has a new hero, a mysterious mayor that has done well by our fair city today.
Well, that mayor would do well to stay out of my way.
The presence of Ne'er-Do-Well always had me transfixed, and watching Rainbow Dash starting to feel isolated from everybody was a delight to an ironically hilarious degree. The epilogue with the unmasking of Ne'er-Do-Well and the friendship lesson learned worked fairly well for a satisfactory ending. Believe it or not, The Mysterious Ne'er-Do-Well is an underrated reality slap. Now we are coming to the second row, and number 7 is The Cart Before the Ponies. Wait, what? The cart? Did I even watch this episode, or like I'm being serious, guys. I don't remember anything about this episode. I think I need to rewatch it. I'll be back in a second. Oh my god. Okay, Fluffbutts, I believe you. This episode was rubbish! No wonder I forgot what this episode was all about the first time I watched it. Apart from the Cutie Mark Crusaders' adorable performances, everything else about The Cart Before the Ponies is absolutely shit. Some writers know how to give half of the main six a bad spotlight for a whole 22 minutes. This could have been a brilliant chance to give the youngsters an episode to show off their true talents, but nope, it had to be ruined by Applejack, Rarity, and especially Rainbow's terrible controlling attitudes.
Rarity's definitely made the biggest, boldest cart any pony's ever seen. Applejack's built something so traditional, it's practically an antique. There's no talking Rainbow Dash out of making the fastest cart in Equestria.
Not even the final derby scene with them all reconciling gave me much faith in the tainted story that had so much potential. How did this episode manage to make it past the executives? All's Well That Ends Well and No Second Prances were already selfish-centered episodes, but this one just takes the cake. The Cart Before the Ponies is a wasted episode with wasted characters with a wasted premise that ends up with a wasted wrap-up. Right, yo, we are almost halfway there. And in 6th place is Some Pony to Watch Over Me. I just internally cringed when I said that. And it has a 6.1. I have not been mentioning the scores at all. Like, this is a 6.1 and this as well? What the fuck? No way is this episode mediocre or even above average. Even in a masterclass season like season 4, there's gonna be one rotten Apple episode, and that's Some Pony to Watch Over Me. Want a story where Applejack becomes an overprotective mother figure to Apple Bloom? No? Well, tough. It exists, and fuck me. This episode is irritating from start to finish. Once again, the premise is another that's written the completely wrong way. Never have I ever hated Applejack as much as her role in this episode.
For the love of... You've gone and baby-proofed everything!
Yup, your big sister let you down once, but I promise it won't ever happen again.
How are we supposed to believe that AJ developed a characteristic as such when nothing like it was ever brought up? What a massive convenience Some Pony to Watch Over Me is, and bloody hell, the ending was explained like bleach being forcibly poured down my throat. Applejack was right all along?
I told you need your big sister looking after you.
Absolute bullshit. I couldn't stand the unbelievability of the dialogue spoken. This episode is a cum stain on the 4th season. Okay, moving aside from that episode, we are coming to number 5. Oh, and in 5th place is 246. Great. And yep, I definitely expected this to be in the top 10 worst list. What a way to turn Rainbow Dash into an absolute killer that no one likes in this episode. And it's a 6. No, you're all wrong. That moment when I know an episode is embarrassingly bad when I prefer the tell your tale version of the same story. 246 grade is pretty much the last straw of everything why Rainbow Dash is an epic failure of a character. The only defining parts of this episode are the young six and the cute cheerleaders that get brought in. But of course, the blue clown with the gay hair has to fuck everything up just because she doesn't want to. Even the plot centered around the cheerleading didn't connect with me to actually give me relatability to the young six.
What is the big deal? It's not that we were bad. It's that you didn't even want to try to help us get better.
It's not my fault you couldn't figure out how to use it right.
Well, you could have shown us!
Plus, 246 grade takes place in the last season. Why not the 8th season, when the School of Friendship was actually established? Rainbow Crash is a dick, the cheerleading story is dull, and the epilogue was cringy as hell. I hate thinking back to this episode. Okay, I gotta calm down a bit because the fires of hell are starting to raise up to level 4. And in 4th place is Princess Spike, 5.7. Oh, 3 decimal points downwards from 24356 grade, whatever it was. This episode is Spike's worst episode. Believe me, this episode just destroyed his character, and in Princess Spike, I'm so disappointed. I'm so thankful that this episode was suppressed from my memory the moment it ended from my first viewing. Not even Secret of My Excess was this bad. Spike using Twilight's authority for himself and him overloading himself with the power was such a terrible idea to begin with. No surprise really that this episode was written by one of the worst writers in the show ever. Spike practically becomes a Karen, which is unbearably annoying through and through, and he gets away with so much crap.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I'd rather, tell the princess directly.
Well, if it helps, you can call me Princess Spike.
Even after Twilight merely shrugs off the dramatic events that erupted out of Spike's reckless decisions, every pony that he affected easily forgives him. It is such a spit in the viewers' faces. Cool, Spike owns up to everything that he did, but he was too damn late for that. Princess Spike? More like Jester Spike. Now, Fluffbutts, we come to the top 3. We have like a pile of shit 3, a thinning 2, and then just a barely visible 1, which is the episode that should not be acknowledged ever. But let's see which episode is a pile of shit. Yakety Sax. Oh my god, the memories are flooding back to me when I first watched this episode, because believe me, I remember how much controversy this episode caused in 2018. God, people really hate this episode, and me too, because, yeah, this episode it's just terrible. I'll forever remember how basically everyone was disgusted by this episode upon its release. That's because the moral of Yakety Sax is flawed beyond belief. You're very bad at playing an instrument. Oh, sorry, did we hurt your feelings? Never mind, keep playing it. I'm sure everyone won't mind, even if you will never improve. What the actual fuck was the point of this episode? Not even the main 6 are likable in this episode, as they unimportantly give Pinkie Pie a free pass to disturbing the public. Plus, why does Pinkie get depressed just because she can't play one instrument?
Give me another.
My pony already had 25 ice cream.
I said give me another!
She was literally a one-man band in Swarm of the Century, for God's sake. She moves out because she can't play an instrument. Never have I ever heard of someone throwing everything away just because of one bad experience with something. People who despise Yakety Sax are right to, because the writing is lazy and half-assed at best. What a complete letdown. Oh, I'm getting a bit hot because the flames are getting up here. It's up to my neck now, but we are at number 2. The episode that is just a little bit more acceptable than the worst, but it's still a bad episode. In 2nd place is What About Discord, with a 5.5, 1 more decimal lower. I don't even want to speak on this episode because, no. What a way to ruin Twilight Sparkle, am I right? Oh look, it's another Neo Disudao story. And here I thought Scott Scornburn's episodes were horrendous. What about Discord is like a lost episode actually given flesh? It's not supposed to exist. This episode is a chore to endure because it's so unoriginal that it could have been considered Lesson Zero's rejected first draft. And even the way Twilight is written was clearly uncharacteristic. There are an uncountable number of cringeworthy and awkward moments that define the stupid story for its doltish nature. Discord wasn't even likable either, as he constantly teases Twilight's behavior whenever she suspects him of something.
We simply need to recreate everything that led to these jokes.
Oh, what a brilliant idea! Shall we begin with the lunch date that kicked off the glorious weekend you missed out on?
The fact that they dragged in Sakura the zebra near the end was extremely cheap and convenient only for the sake of the damn plot. Nor did I have any sympathy for Twilight's outburst either, because it is nothing like how she would ordinarily react.
Maybe it's my own fault for staying in and having a book sortation when I could have been making jokes and memories and having a great time with my friends. But I didn't do that, did I? You all did.
Trust me, Fluffbutts, do not watch What About Discord. It's for your own good. Okay, Fluffbutts, we have the worst rated episodes here in Friendship is Magic, but now we have come to the number one, the worst rated episode ever. What do you guys think it is? Go ahead and leave a comment down below if you know what it is, because I don't remember it. But now, here we go. The worst episode ever in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is... Non-Compete Clause! With a 4.8. Jesus Christ. This episode is so worthy of being the worst one. A complete waste of an episode. And I mean that wholeheartedly because... I don't even want to talk about this episode if I'm being honest. And oh shit! Look at that! I perfectly threw the 10-to-1 paper underneath my Switch. Why do I even bother giving this disaster piece excuse of an episode free press? And it's an episode that's in the 8th season, aka the most lackluster season. Applejack and Rainbow Dash got deconstructed in the most detrimental way possible that harmed both their reputations, the school children, and the writer's name. How can the writer of the fabulous special Rainbow Road Trip write something so abhorrently outrageous? Seeing the young Six being left out throughout most of the episode made me feel so sorry for them, and even them being nearly killed truly makes me wonder how on earth an episode like this was even thought of in the first place.
These students are totally gonna vote for a teacher who gets things done!
No, they're gonna vote for a teacher who gets things done right.
Yeah, this isn't awkward at all.
Apple Dash is immensely dislikable every time they engage in a petty contest or unnecessary argument. I laughed my bloody arse off when they got caught above the river, as they deserved the ridicule that got thrown their way. It feels bloated with too much stuff to squeeze in, and ultimately at the end, nothing at all matters, because the journey was ultimately pointless and Fluttershy continues to be the Monsters Inc. Sullivan of Equestria School. Non-Compete Clause is the most disappointing, least fulfilling, and most uninteresting episode known to ponykind.
I agree with you for the whole nature walk.
Only 'cause you were angling for that Teacher of the Month award.
You were the one doing the angling.
You were more like fan dangling.
You're a real nice girl and I like you a lot, but for right now, shut up.
And there you have it, Fluffbutts. We have the worst rated episodes ever in Friendship is Magic. Apart from the mysterious ne'er-do-well, I can definitely agree with this list myself. But what about you, Fluffbutts? What are your least likable episodes in the show? Do leave a comment of that down below, because I would love to hear from you guys more. And do like the video if you want to see my own top 10 list of the greatest episodes and maybe the worst as well. And also, subscribe to my channel for more exciting content just like this and many more coming soon. And I shall see you all very soon. Goodbye! And just before this video ends, I would like to shout out my gold Fluffbutt patron, the Peyton Grauerful Trisky. I really appreciate your love and support.